Welcome to Faith, Purpose, and Freedom podcast, where we share real stories, real hope, real education, and real inspiration. I'm your host, Kayla Roth, coach, author, minister, and a woman on a mission to lead others into love and unity. Last week, we talked about mindset, manifesting, trauma, identity, and emotional patterns. We talked about how your thoughts shape your reality, how your identity shapes your decisions, and how your trauma shapes your emotional responses. But today, I want to go deeper because once you understand your mindset, manifesting, trauma, identity, and emotional patterns, the next step is learning how to release what has been weighing down your spirit for so long. If mindset and manifesting are the fruit, then the battle between the flesh and the spirit is the root. Today, we're exposing the internal war that shapes your thoughts, your emotions, your identity, and your manifestations. We're talking about the old self versus the new creation, the trauma formed identity versus the spirit formed identity, and how spiritual warfare influences your mindset more than you even realize. And then we're going to talk about forgiveness, how it rewires the brain, how reconciliation restores identity, how peace regulates the nervous system, and how God heals the parts of you that have been carrying pain for far too long. This episode is going to go deep. It's going to be honest and it's going to be freeing. Let's start with the war inside you. So the Bible says in Galatians 5, verses 17, for the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the flesh. This isn't just theology, it's describing the internal war you feel every single day. Your flesh is part of you, shaped by trauma, fear, survival, and those emotional patterns that we go through. Your spirit, however, is the part of you shaped by truth, identity, purpose, and divine alignment. Your flesh says, I'm not enough, I'm broken, I'm stuck, I'm unworthy, I'll always be this way. Your spirit says, I am chosen. I am loved. I am capable. I am free. I am a new creation. I was created on purpose with a divine purpose. Trauma from Trauma from a young age forms an identity that says, I am what happened to me. The spirit forms an identity that says, I am who I was created to be. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am exactly who I was created to be. This is why some people heal really quick and others stay stuck. Some people are trying to heal with their flesh identity still intact. Others heal because they allow the spirit identity to rewrite their story. These are the people that when they go through something, they can look at the positives no matter what. Um, so when they're trying to learn something new and they make a mistake, they don't go, "Ugh, I'm stupid." That's the flesh. That's the flesh. I've been there. They say, huh, well, that didn't work out so great. But I'm learning and I'm growing from it. And what can I learn from that to move forward? I mean, we have to remember that we have the ability to look at everything in a positive light. Your flesh is shaped by pain. Your spirit is shaped by truth. Your flesh is shaped by fear, and your spirit is shaped by love. Your flesh is shaped by survival, and too many of us have been stuck in survival mode for far too long. Your spirit is shaped by your purpose, and until you understand this war, you will always feel torn between who you were and who you're becoming. So let's talk about forgiveness because forgiveness is where a lot of us get stuck. We're holding the anger, we're holding on to that pain, we're holding on to what happened to us. We've allowed it to become our identity. We believe that's all we are, is what happens to us is all we are, and that is the farthest from the truth. So that's where we need to step into forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't pretending that it never even happened. Forgiveness isn't excusing the behavior of one who hurt us. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened, and it is not even the reconciliation. Forgiveness is releasing the emotional debt that is holding you back. It's releasing the chains. It's breaking them off. It's breaking you free. It's saying, I refuse to let this memory control my identity. I refuse to let this pain shape my decisions. I refuse to let this wound define my future. You see, when I say that forgiveness is not reconciliation, now, if you and a friend got in a disagreement because, you both liked the same boy at the same time. We've all seen that happen. Okay. I definitely would recommend that forgiveness and reconciling is worth it, right? However, there are abusive situations. I would not tell a person to forgive and reconcile in that situation. I would definitely say to forgive. However, I would also say to set boundaries. So, just to clear that up for a moment, unforgiveness actually keeps your brain in fight or flight mode forever. So, someone who was in a domestic relationship is fearing other relationships because they fear they might go back into that. They've lost their self. They're angry with themselves. They're angry with the abuser. They're just angry in all realms. So anything that comes at them, even if it's a boss that says something in a certain tone, that unforgiveness puts them in fight or flight mode to where they then react. So this is where we have to learn to step back and really look at our situation, because unforgiveness keeps your nervous system on high alert. It keeps your nervous system just really in pain. You feel shaky, your anxiety is always high. And the part of your brain that's responsible for fear, anger, and emotional reactivity is also activated because of that. And when you hold on to unforgiveness, your brain literally believes that you are still in danger at all times. Forgiveness will calm this part of our brain. Forgiveness activates the prefrontal cortex, and that's the part of your brain that is actually responsible for logic, decision making, and emotional regulation. So, can you imagine when this is activated, how you can logically think into every situation, how you can probably make better decisions, and how you have that emotional intelligence to walk into situations, and things that once may have bothered you will no longer bother you because you've activated the prefrontal cortex. You're now able to think things through more clearly before you react. You're going to learn to respond rather than to react. Forgiveness reduces stress hormones. Stress hormones, they tear your body down from the inside out, destroy, and are honestly the reason for so many health conditions. Obesity often goes back to stress hormones. So, if we can calm and reduce these stress hormones, imagine the health eh, that we would have. Um, America has a terrible rate for different health issues. Um, Diabetes is really high in America. Obesity is really high. And a lot of the situations is the stress because let's be real, there's lots of stressors in the world. But when we can fix that mindset and we can stop living from a place of fear, anger, anxiety, we can start to see the stress hormones in our body be reduced, and suddenly we'll start to see a healthier America because people will be healing. People will be living in their true identity. People will be living from a place of love and reconciliation and forgiveness and peace and unity. Imagine that. So, forgiveness rewires our neural pathways. It's not just spiritual, it's neurological, guys. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You're angry at yourself for staying too long, not knowing any better, repeating old patterns, ignoring red flags, coping in unhealthy ways, losing yourself, and even for trusting the wrong people. And that anger becomes decisions. Those decisions become behaviors. Those behaviors then become patterns, and those patterns become your new formed identity. Self forgiveness is saying, I release myself from the shame of what I didn't know. I release myself from the guilt of who I used to be. I release myself from the burdens of my past. In Ephesians 4, verse 32, it says, Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. This isn't telling you to minimize your pain. Absolutely, it's telling us that we need to forgive ourselves also because God forgave us. And because God forgives us, we should also forgive each other. It's not always just about the other person, it's about our nervous system, our identity, our future, and our peace. In Luke 6, verse 37, it says, Forgive and you will be forgiven. It's not a threat, it's a spiritual principle. When you release others, you also release yourself. Forgiveness is the doorway to freedom. Unforgiveness is the doorway to bondage, the doorway to chains. Forgiveness breaks chains. Most people aren't stuck because of what happened to them. They're stuck because of what they're still carrying. Forgiveness is how we put it down. So let's kind of talk about forgiving what we can't forget also. Some wounds don't disappear. Some memories don't fade, and some experiences leave permanent marks that hurt us. Forgiveness doesn't erase the memory, it removes the sting. It doesn't rewrite the past, it rewrites the identity you formed from it. It doesn't change what happened, but it does change what will happen next. You can forgive someone and still remember everything. You can forgive someone and still choose boundaries. You can forgive someone and still choose distance. And we can forgive someone and still choose healing. Forgiveness is a release. Now, let's talk about reconciliation and peace. Okay, so reconciliation is optional. Peace, however, is essential for us to move forward. Reconciliation requires safety, honesty, accountability, change, and mutual respect. Have you ever been in a situation where you take accountability, you apologize, and you're just trying to gain that respect from that other person? However, the other person's like, okay, I accept your apology. However, you were so wrong. And they do not take any accountability for what they've done. I think we've all been there, right? Absolutely unacceptable. It is really hard to reconcile relationships when both parties will not take accountability for their actions and behaviors. Now, are there times where one individual is the victim and they really didn't do anything? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's even harder to try to reconcile or forgive when that other person will not take any accountability for what they've done. Forgiveness is really easy when the other person takes accountability. Forgiveness requires release, though. It requires our willingness to forgive, to have those conversations, to change our mindset. It requires surrender, healing, and courage. We can forgive without ever reconciling with someone, though. There are situations where we can forgive without truly reconciling because it's not always necessary. Like I said, when you're in an abusive situation or, an assault has happened, I would encourage forgiveness. However, reconciling is not necessary. Boundaries are necessary. You can forgive someone and truly never speak to them again. You can forgive them and love them and wish them well and pray blessings over their life, pray healing over their life, and truly never speak to them again. You can also forgive someone and still protect your peace. What forgiveness is not, though. If you have forgiven someone and you continue to talk bad about them, be derogatory towards them, that's not forgiveness. You've not truly forgiven. You're still living from an angry heart at that point. So we really need to tune in to what forgiveness really is. So once we have gotten to a point where we have forgiven, peace reigns over our lives. Peace is not just a feeling, it's a psychological state. When you enter peace, your breathing will slow down, your heart rate is very stabilized, your muscles relax, you don't feel tense all the time. Your brain actually shifts out of survival mode and into thriving mode, and your nervous system believes that you are 100% safe. The peace Philippians 4:7, says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds." Peace is a guard, peace is a shield, peace is protection. Peace guards your heart from bitterness. It guards your mind from intrusive thoughts. Peace guards your identity from trauma. It is not passive, but it is powerful. So let's go a little deeper into spiritual warfare. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people argue against, but spiritual warfare is very real. I know because I've definitely experienced it and my family has. So I just want to discuss it for just a moment and truly help people understand. This is a part most people never truly talk about when we talk about mindset, healing, or manifesting. Spiritual warfare is often kind of left out of it, but we cannot understand our thoughts without understanding the war behind them. Scripture tells us Satan was cast down to earth along with the fallen angels, right? They lost their place in heaven, but they brought their chaos with them right here to earth. Just as Satan deceived Eve in the garden, he still uses deception, confusion, manipulation, fear, shame, and doubt right here, right now. Not because he has power over you, but he wants to influence our minds. There's a spiritual dimension influencing this physical one. Your thoughts are not just psychological, they're spiritual. Your emotions are not just chemical, they're spiritual. Your identity is not just personal, it's spiritual. The enemy's goal is to distort identity, disrupt peace, derail purpose, and disconnect you from your truth. The battle is not between flesh and spirit, it is between truth and deception. Let that sink in. Trauma creates fear, shame, self hatred, confusion, emotional instability, identity distortion, and these become footholds for spiritual warfare. But here's the truth: the enemy can only use what you haven't healed. Forgiveness shuts the door, slams the door in the enemy's face. Peace slams the door in the enemy's face. Identity slams the door in the enemy's face. And truth smashes the enemy beneath your feet. So let's talk about manifesting deeply, spiritually, and practically. It's not magic, it's not wishful thinking, and it's not trying to force an outcome. It's aligning your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, actions, identity, energy, and focus with what you desire to create. Faith based manifesting, fear, ego, control, desperation, scarcity, trauma patterns, these create chaos. But faith based manifesting, knowing who we are, truly speaking into our identity, knowing what we have hold over, what we have overcome, forgiveness, smashing old identities, breaking chains, all of that allows us to create and to live in our purpose. Love, truth, alignment, purpose, peace, identity, that's transformation. That's moving forward. When you visualize something repeatedly, your brain builds new neural pathways. Your nervous system adapts to the new reality. Your subconscious begins to expect it. Your decisions align with it. Your emotions support it, and your behavior follows it. Manifesting isn't magic, guys. It's mental, emotional, spiritual, and neurological alignment. So, I'm going to share a few things with you that I do every single day. This is huge for me and it's made a big difference in my life. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Am I learning? Absolutely. Am I growing? Absolutely. Every day. So, breath work is something that is huge. Breathing regulates the nervous system. A regulated nervous system creates clarity, and clarity will create alignment. So, when you inhale for 4 seconds, in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you repeat that 5 times or however many times you need to. Your nervous system and something in your body will just start to feel calm, like everything in your body starts to relax. I do this anytime I'm frustrated, anytime I feel like I'm going through something, and it truly helps. And then I start reframing the thought I might be having. If it's I'm stuck, I'm learning to move forward. If it's I'm broken, I'm healing. If it's I'm feeling behind, I'm being prepared. And trust me, there's many a times I feel behind, whether it be with my podcast, whether it be with certain things. I feel like I'm behind and I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. There's other situations where I'm like, "Ugh, I see this person doing this, and this. I wish I could do it like this. Well, I can't because I'm Kayla. I'm not them. You are you. You learn how you learn. You relay information the way you relay information. That's huge for me, because there's oftentimes I have to take notes. I go through and, I have things come into my mind and I'm like, oh, I need to share that. So I write it all down. And that's how I remember it and I can go back to it. And that's okay. And there's times I'm like, man, I wish I could just speak from the top of my mind and know exactly, but that's just not who I was created to be. That's not how I work or how my brain functions, and that's absolutely acceptable. So, just remember, you're not behind, you're being prepared. You're moving. You're not staying stuck. I'm moving forward. Nothing's holding me back. So, identity declarations are also huge. I am loved, I am chosen, I am capable, and I am free. Um, Another thing that you can do to really work on your subconscious and changing your subconscious, is you could write your identity declarations. If you're right-handed, write them with your left-handed. It is retraining your subconscious mind, and it's great work to retrain your subconscious mind to activate it. So our subconscious is where all of these things get hidden. All these emotions, all your unforgiveness is hidden inside your subconscious. We need to activate it to get those out and release. the things that are stuck in there. I forgive blank for blank because I choose freedom over bitterness. Write that out. Write it with your left hand. Write it on a whiteboard or a marker board, and erase it afterwards. It doesn't matter. But training your subconscious and helping it release those emotions and actions, and then putting the identity declarations in there afterwards. So I would encourage everyone today to think of a few things you might need to forgive, whether it be yourself, whether it be someone who's hurt you, and write it with your opposite hand, your dominant hand, sorry. And write it out. I forgive Billy for hurting me in the 5th grade because I choose freedom over bitterness. I don't know what it really is, but forgive. I forgive myself for staying in a situation that was abusive and traumatic for so long because I am choosing freedom over bitterness. And then you're going to write with that non dominant hand and you're going to write, I am loved, I am chosen, I am capable, I am free, I am moving forward in my purpose. And believe it and read it. And then do the breathing. And now you're going to close your eyes. You're going to see the healed version of you. You're going to see the peaceful version of yourself. You're going to see the free version of yourself. You're going to see yourself standing on those stages speaking. You're going to see yourself running that successful podcast. You're going to see yourself running that successful blog, running that coaching business, whatever it may be that you are doing. You see yourself living out your vision. And I'd encourage you to do this every day. And anyone who is looking for just some extra assistance or help, please visit my website, www.faithpurposefreedom.com, because I would be honored to walk this walk with you, to really just sit in it and we go through a little bit of your life story. I do disc profiling and meta profiling. We set some SMART goals. And I'm a transformational personal and professional development coach. And I love helping people really dig deep into their mindset, dig deep into what maybe has kept them stuck. I have CEOs who have spent their life building a business but never truly healing what was hurting them inside. They've built all the success, but they're still miserable. For me, that's not okay. I want to see everybody living in true love, true freedom, because you matter, you're worth it, and you deserve it. So take a deep breath. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Inhale truth, exhale shame. Inhale identity. Exhale trauma. Now repeat after me. I choose forgiveness. I choose peace. I choose freedom. I choose alignment. I choose to manifest from truth, not fear. I choose to walk in my spirit identity. I choose to release what has been weighing down my soul. Your testimony is not just what happened to you. It's what you choose to do with it. Forgiveness doesn't erase your story, it transforms it. This week, I want you to do 3 things, simple but powerful. Choose one person to forgive, even if the forgiveness is silence. You don't have to call them, you don't have to reconcile, you don't have to explain. Just release the emotional debt. I forgive you because I choose freedom. Number 2, I want you to write a letter to yourself. Not a long one, just a page. Forgive yourself for something or things you've been carrying: shame, regret, a decision you made in survival mode, a version of you that didn't know better. Say, I release myself from who I used to be. And the third thing, practice peace for 5 minutes a day. Just sit still, do the breath work. In 4, hold it for 4, out for 6 to 8 seconds. Let your nervous system truly settle. Let your spirit speak. Let your mind quiet. Peace is not found, it is practiced, guys. Your healing is not accidental, it's intentional. Your breakthrough, it's not random, it's spiritual. And your transformation is not small, it is generational. We are generational curse breakers. You are stepping into forgiveness. You are stepping into reconciliation, peace, identity, and purpose. And I am so proud of you. Every step you take towards healing is a step away from the version of you that trauma tried to create. But we are smashing it right here, right now, beneath our feet. We are breaking chains. We are free, and nothing is holding us back. Come on. You are rising, you are awakening, you are becoming whole, you are becoming free. And next week, we're going deeper into the spiritual war behind your thoughts, your emotions, your identity, and your manifestations. And we are going to really dive deep into manifesting. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for joining me today on Faith, Purpose, and Freedom. If this podcast has blessed you and you feel led to partner with me, you can do so at the link in the description or on Cash App at hashtag Faith, Purpose, Freedom. Your giving helps reach more people, share more stories, and helps me give free coaching to those in need. Remember to keep sharing hope everywhere you go. I'll see you in the next episode. I love you all. Be blessed.